Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Ryan Prosick. The Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce held their 22nd Annual Chamber Awards luncheon today at the Top of the 80s restaurant. We spoke with Chamber Vice President of Marketing, Leanne Falabelle, about the importance of the event.
There's so many businesses in the community, businesses and individuals in the community that do so much. So a lot of times we tend to, focus on the negative. This is a positive event. It's a lot of things that go on with these businesses, not just running their businesses, but ways that they give back to the community contribution. These businesses that receive these awards have tremendous growth over the last 3 years. That's one of the things that we focus on judging in the application is their growth over the last 3 years. So they're really excelling at what they do, and we just want to recognize them for that.
Among those recognized at the event were the Silver Pines Treatment Center, which was recognized as the Small Business of the Year, the Hayden Power Group, which was recognized as the Large Business of the Year, and the Hazleton Art League, which was recognized as the Charitable Organization of the Year. In addition to the Business and Community Awards, Falabelle said the Chamber also awarded some grant funds.
So our chamber has a women's networking committee, and through that committee several years ago we decided, besides doing stuff for business women in the community as networking opportunities, we wanted to give back. So we established our Women's Empowerment Grant, and it's a way to we collect funds throughout the year at our different events, and then we select women that are women. There's not a lot of opportunities for women to receive grants and things like that for education. So that's what this is really established for. And we do an application process, and then we have a volunteer committee that interviews them, and then we select recipients annually.
This year, the lucky recipients were Stephanie Chabla, Marissa Fellin, Aliani Mayi, and Brandy Carls, who each received $750 in women's empowerment grants. An Allentown man is behind bars after he threatened to kill a Schuylkill County judge. Thomas Lee Bono was charged after he threatened to kill Schuylkill County Court of Common Pleas Judge Christopher Hobbs in a voicemail message. Bono was then taken into custody in Allentown on a warrant unrelated to the threats. Officials say Bono was later taken to Schuylkill County, where he was arraigned on charges of retaliation against a prosecutor or judicial official, terroristic threats, criminal attempt to obstruct administration of law or other governmental function, and criminal use of a communication facility. Bono is currently locked up at the Schuylkill County Prison on $500,000 straight cash bail, and his preliminary hearing is scheduled for October 30th. A local landmark for Mexican cuisine will soon be shutting down and relocating. Jay Zapata Mexican restaurants have maintained a food truck location at the former Baron Sunoco gas station in Sugarloaf Township for 10 years. But owner Ricardo Santos says the food truck will be closing on Sunday and taking their tacos, burritos, and quesadillas elsewhere. Plans have been made by gas station owner Ashok Patel to demolish the existing gas station and rebuild a new one in its place, with the addition of electric vehicle charging stations and a convenience store. However, Santos, who is currently exiled in Mexico, said his food truck was not included in the future plans for the business. As a result, Santos said the food truck will be relocating to the Pottsville Mall, though their locations at the Laurel Mall and on Hillside Drive in Hazel Township will also remain open.
So we have signed a lease, and we're going to move our staff, our kitchen. We're going to have a food truck outside while we open the restaurant. So we're moving on. We are moving on and trying to do our best.
As Santos fights to return home to the United States, he says he's beginning to feel abandoned by the community he calls home. Santos has been told by officials that he must remain in Mexico for a period of 10 years before reapplying for readmission because he entered the country illegally twice in the past. Now Santos is asking the community for help to bring him back legally. Santos said his lawyer has made an appointment with the United States Embassy to look at his case, but that he needs letters of reference to attest to his personality and positive relationship with the community.
So I'm looking for my community, people and organizations that I help to help me to write a letter so that we could send it to the U.S. Embassy in Ciudad Juarez, and they will give us a chance to take a look at my case and see if they can let me go back to the States with a parole.
Letters can be emailed to 777bzaf@gmail.com. Hazel Township Fire and Rescue was dispatched to a motor vehicle accident yesterday evening. The crash occurred near the Kandu Expressway and the Interstate 81 northbound off-ramp. The call was later upgraded to entrapment after it was advised that there was an occupant pinned inside the vehicle. The cause of the crash and the extent of the injuries are unknown at this time. Several schools in Luzerne County have announced that they are closed or delayed today due to threats. Wilkes-Barre area, Dallas School District, and the Lighthouse Academy were among the schools closed due to the threats. The threats also caused a 2-hour delay at Lake Lehman School District this morning. Schools in Luzerne County have received numerous threats causing school districts in the county to close 2 other times this month. A man from Peru has been arrested and charged in connection with the September threats on the schools. We will update you here on WYLN as more information becomes available on the threats. Coming up on WYLN News, the Hazleton Area Cougars cross-country squads are welcome back to the school in style. Plus, State Representative Dane Watcher recently had his first bill signed by the governor. But first, take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Jason, and tomorrow's forecast will be partly cloudy.
Weather Kids is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Your health deserves a partner.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today. SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information.
Hey everybody, this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, Jennifer Parks is going to share her story that even with herniated discs and a vertebrae that has slipped out of place, chiropractic has prevented back surgeries and she's having a beautiful life.
Welcome back to WYLN News. Briar Creek Township Police are investigating a property damage incident at Briar Creek Lake Park in Berwick. According to police, numerous tracks were left in a field at the park on October 24th. Anyone with information regarding the vandalism is asked to submit a tip through the Crime Watch portal at columbia.crimewatchpa.com. The Hazleton Area Cougars cross-country team was welcomed back after winning district champs with an escort from several local fire departments. The boys team secured the victory thanks to a 6th runner tiebreaker over the Scranton team. Now the Cougars boys cross-country team is heading to the state championship, and we talked to runner Franklin Ritz on how it felt to see the team make it to states.
Just seeing our team being able to do it, I mean, when I finished, I thought we didn't have it. I thought we were lost by about 6 or 7 points, but I mean, it's so much better to be able to travel with the whole group.
Ritz also described the journey to make it to this point.
I mean, overall, I think we've all gotten a lot better. And the problem was we had a lot of injuries and a lot of people just not being able to run certain meets, but like this meet, you know, everyone except for Aiden was able to run. We were all able to run pretty good times to, you know, go to the states.
The boys team weren't the only ones that qualified for the state championships. Milana Dayut and Ava Hinkle qualified individually from the girls team. And Dayut tells us about the difficult challenges they faced to get to this point.
It's something that we work for our entire year. Our coach prepares us very well. Yeah, it's very hard because of what our class has required for us to make it to states. So it's very difficult, but we overcame it and we made it here, and now we're very grateful.
Hinkle also took the time to reflect on her achievement of making it to states.
It's not easy, honestly. I blacked out. It was really hard. And it's my first year, and I made it to states, so I'm actually really happy about that.
We here at WYLN would like to congratulate both the boys and girls on their big accomplishment and wish them the best of luck at the state championships. State Representative Dane Watrow announced on Wednesday that his first bill has been signed into law. Act 13 of 2023 will streamline the professional licensing process for veterans, ensuring that a service member's military education and training will be considered when applying for civilian credentials in related fields. Watrow said in a Facebook post that he hopes the bill will help veterans pursue their dreams of serving their communities as medical first responders. The law will take effect in 60 days. Coming up on Ashland's News Choice, we preview Thursday Night Football and more on Let's Talk Sports. Plus, our historian Chris Fulmer takes us down a path through history with Frackville, Part 3. So stay right here because we'll be right back on WYLN TV.
Lehigh Valley Topper Cancer Institute brings the next level of cancer care to the greater Hazleton region. The new cancer center on the campus of Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton is now open and offers an advanced radiation therapy program, an expanded infusion suite with private treatment rooms, and the latest telemedicine technologies. The Cancer Center at LVH Hazleton, offering world-class cancer care closer to home. To learn more, visit lvhn.org/Hazleton Cancer Center.
Contact Pete Casalica for a home and auto quote today.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Providing quality products and service to Eastern PA and beyond with 2 strategic locations. They carry top brand manufacturers and guarantee parts and service for your home or business. From new construction to replacement doors, inspections and service calls. F&L Door stands behind every job, taking pride in the work they do. Call 800-344-DOOR. Visit F&L Doors online at fldoors.com or visit their showrooms in Hazel Township and Schuylkill Haven.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
High school football is back on WYLN TV 35. You can always count on WYLN for all the action, not just the highlights. This week, the Hazleton area Cougars travel to Berwick to take on the Berwick Bulldogs. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. with Marty Burns, Joe DeMelfi, Mike Sosar, and the WYLN sports crew. Over the air on 35.1 in Hazleton, 47.1 in Berwick and Bloomsburg, Service Electric Cable Channel 7 and 507, and online at WYLNTV.com.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Let's Talk Sports. We have still some NFL football to recap. You know, some circumstances got in the way of that, and we're not going to talk about it. But you know what I'm talking about. Still discussed it over here. But anyway, we saw the Eagles win 31-17 against the Dolphins at the Link in the Kelly green uniforms. They looked absolutely amazing. One of the freshest throwbacks in the league. Seattle's up there too. They're wearing theirs this weekend. It looks incredible. So I'm glad the NFL is doing this where they're bringing all of these old school jerseys back and using the alternate helmets. It looks really nice compared to what they were doing a couple of years back. If you remember Color Rush Thursday, the ketchup and mustard game, bringing me back there. But now they're doing the right thing with the alternate uniforms and throwbacks and whatnot. And they all look really nice. I'm impressed. And, of course, I'll be scooping me some of those. So shout out to the league for that one because incredible marketing there. But anyway, back to the game. You know, like I said, they were in those Kelly Greens, and Jalen Hurts tied Randall Cunningham for the rushing touchdowns record for the Eagles. So it was very fitting they were in the Kelly Greens that night. And A.J. Brown had an absolute masterclass of a performance, just absolutely dominating the corners for Miami. Of course, they're shorthanded there. Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey are out. Jalen Ramsey's looking to get back off of IR after that preseason injury, but Xavier Howard just had to miss this game, and A.J. Brown made him pay like he does. He's on a streak of 5 straight games with 125-plus receiving yards, which is absolutely incredible. He's one of the best wide receivers in the league to do it right now, and he's not the best, though, because the best was playing on the other side of the football with Tyreek Hill. He got the Eagles once, which I just sat there and said, yeah, it happens. You know, you usually get a little bit discouraged at a touchdown, but Tyreek Hill was bound to hit one of those. He does every game. It's honestly ridiculous at this point. He's just breaking analytics at this rate with all these advanced metrics. He's just, if you see the graphs, there's a bunch of people in the middle, some people at the upper right, you know, that are doing really good, and then he's just all the way up here just by his lonesome. It's absolutely ridiculous what he is doing this season. I would make an MVP argument. I heard it on a podcast. I totally agree. He is the most valuable player to his team in football, it feels like, obviously, besides the quarterbacks. And it's a quarterback award, so we know it's probably going to go to Mahomes or Jalen Hurts or who knows who at this point. Lamar Jackson, I forgot to mention, he's having himself a fantastic season. But, yeah, the Dolphins look to get healthier as the season goes on, and the Eagles look to build on this strong performance. It was a mismatch, I will agree. It was the defensive line for the Eagles versus the offensive line for the Dolphins. Just injuries and lack of draft capital and draft picks not paying off and just a whole bunch of variables against the Eagles defensive line, who it's the best unit in the NFL. Who am I kidding? I could say that. It's super strong top to bottom. Hassan Reddick, Brandon Graham with the rotational vet, Fletcher Cox as well in that role, and then you have Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. It's just, the list goes on and on and on, and that's not even mentioning Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick outside. Like, it's scary for opposing offenses. That's all I have to say. And they couldn't get the run game going. Raheem Mostert got a little bit later in the game, but he was shut out for the majority of the first half. So good stuff from the Eagles there, and they'll be looking ahead to next week. And speaking of next week, the 49ers and the Vikings were our Monday night showdown. The Vikings secured the victory 22-17, but the big news comes from the other side of the football with Brock Purdy on a quarterback sneak. It looks like he was concussed, and now he's in concussion protocol. And it looks like Sam Darnold. Does that name ring a bell? Sam Darnold will get the start, it looks like, if Purdy is unable to clear concussion protocol. And it's a really quick turnaround, so if he is concussed and everything, I think it's going to be impossible. And Sam Darnold will get the looks for San Francisco, which is going to be very interesting, if you ask me, against a Cincinnati team who has been up and down, but you have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. You're going to have to score points to keep up. But Jordan Addison was the big winner this game. He looked absolutely impressive. No Justin Jefferson. He doesn't care. He still went out there and scored twice. It was an incredible effort from the rookie, an incredible effort from the defense. I know San Fran had missing pieces like Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel, but still, when you have Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle, you got to make it work against I wouldn't say one of the worst teams in the league. They're down there, but they're not quite at the bottom, but still a disappointing loss for San Francisco. And we're moving on to tonight. We have the Buffalo Bills and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and of course, the Bills have been looking rough. They lost the Patriots, they almost lost the Giants, and now the Buccaneers are coming in and playing them, and I don't know what to think at this rate of the Bills. I mean, that injury report's looking rough. Dawson Knox just got hurt. A couple of key defenders are out for an extended period of time. The injuries are just piling up, and Josh Allen isn't, Superman enough. He's still Superman, but he isn't enough of a Superman to excel this team past all of the injuries. He's trying, though. I'll give him credit for that one, but Tampa Bay it feels like one of those okay teams where Baker will get the job done, but against the Buffalo team, this is a must-win game for Buffalo to keep in the thick of it. I think they're already out of contention for the bye. Kansas City might actually wrap that one up pretty quick unless Baltimore, who I think is a Super Bowl contender, or Cincinnati get scorching hot later in the season. But it'll be a good one tonight. We'll see Josh Allen try to succeed against this Buccaneers defense, along with Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin doing the best they can to fight back. Obviously, I'll pick the Bills in this one. They're just, you got to keep picking them until you can't, but we are quickly getting to that point where you can. That loss against the Patriots was really bad. If the Giants managed the clock correctly, we'd be in full-blown disaster mode for Buffalo. So they need an absolute statement game tonight, and Tampa Bay feels like one of those spots where you could easily get it because they're not, like I said, the greatest, but they're not the worst. And here's to hoping, because the league's better when the Bills are good, when Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow go against each other. I said that before the year, and it's still true now, so hopefully they'll get it together. But that does it for this edition of Let's Talk Sports. We're going to preview the rest of the NFL slate this upcoming week tomorrow, so we'll see you right back here. Have a good one.
Lehigh Valley Topper Cancer Institute brings the next level of cancer care to the greater Hazleton region. The new cancer center on the campus of Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton is now open and offers an advanced radiation therapy program, an expanded infusion suite with private treatment rooms, and the latest telemedicine technologies. The Cancer Center at LVH Hazleton, offering world-class cancer care closer to home. To learn more, visit lvhn.org/Hazleton Cancer Center.
Hey, it's Justin from Grand Central, and our trained sleep professionals are here to help you sleep like never before. With an extensive line of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we are sure to find you the right mattress at the right price. Free delivery and removal, interest-free financing for up to 60 months, and same or next day delivery on select models.
And don't forget, everyday low prices. Stop in to one of our 2 locations, Route 93 in Escapec,
or downtown Hazleton,
and see why Northeast and Central Pennsylvania sleeps better with Grand Central.
F&L Doors, your trusted overhead door supplier, for over 50 years providing quality products and service to Eastern PA and beyond with 2 strategic locations. They carry top brand manufacturers and guarantee parts and service for your home or business. From new construction to replacement doors, inspections and service calls, F&L Doors stands behind every job, taking pride in the work they do. Call 800-344-DOOR, visit F&L Doors online at fldoors.com, or visit their showrooms in Hazel Township and Schuylkill Haven.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
The movies had become an American institution by the early middle 20th century, and Frackville residents had numerous places to catch a film if they wanted. One of the most popular locations was the Garden Theater on North Lehigh Street, which had originally been built as Jim White's Opera House in 1886. It was later converted to a movie theater in 1925 and featured a Wurlitzer organ. It closed in 1969, with Dr. Zhivago being the last film shown there. A little further up Lehigh Street stood the Victoria Theater. The Frackville Public Library now stands in its location. And just west of town, Route 61, moviegoers could stop at the Highway Drive-In, which opened on May 28, 1949 with the Yvonne DiCarlo film River Lady. It was originally owned by the Kerrigan family, who also owned the Harrisburg Drive-In near the state's capital. The Highway Drive-In originally had capacity for 300 cars. It had the largest screen in the state, complemented by individual speakers for each car and free admission for children. Melvin Heimbach bought the drive-in 1957. He would be taken to court in 1969 for showing the adult-oriented film Teresa and Isabel at the theater. A fire broke out in the concession stand in September 1975, but the projection booth would avoid damage. Car capacity was increased to 500 by the early 1980s, but by then, drive-ins were starting to fade from the American landscape. The Highway Drive-In closed in 1988, although the screen and other buildings on the site remained standing for about a decade afterwards. As the 1940s progressed, Frackville's baseball fans could see one of their own make a splash in the big leagues. Ron Northey graduated from Frackville High School in 1938. He would play baseball at Duke University, during which time he was hit in the head by an errant ball, a mislap that left him hard of hearing in one ear. Nonetheless, Northey made it to the majors in 1942 when he was signed by the Philadelphia Phillies. Playing in right field, he hit .251 in his rookie year, then broke out in his second season when he would hit 16 home runs and 68 RBIs. He would increase these figures to 22 home runs and 104 RBIs in 1944 and finish 18th in the National League MVP voting. Despite his partial deafness, Northey would be drafted in early 1945. He would still manage to play ball while at the new Cumberland Army Reception Center in Cumberland County and later at Fort Lewis in Washington State. Discharged in 1946, Northey played 2 further seasons with the Phillies before being traded to St. Louis. He would spend 3 seasons with the Cardinals, 1 season with the Reds, 2 seasons with the Cubs, and 3 seasons with the White Sox before returning to the Phillies to close his career in 1957. In a 12-year Major League career, Round Ron finished with a .276 batting average with 108 home runs and 513 RBIs. Ron Northey died in 1971, but lived to see his son Scott Northey play 1 season with the Kansas City Royals in 1969. Another set of Frackville brothers would make a big splash in the world of music. Joe, Frank, Bob, and Lou Jordan were born between 1941 and 1947. They would make their first big musical splash on Halloween night 1954, when Joe, Frank, and Bob walked around Frackville streets playing a clarinet, accordion, and drum. This impromptu concert would net them $20 and set them on a musical career. The Jordan brothers would soon make their marks at local venues throughout the area, notably with a 5-year run at Schuylkill Haven's Renninger's Market. They made their first television appearance on ABC's The Original Amateur Hour in 1964. The brothers signed with Jamie Records in 1958. One of the stockholders of the company was Dick Clark, who would bring the Jordans on American Bandstand 3 times. They also traveled the country in 1959 as part of Clark's Caravan of Stars tour. Their contract at Jamie lasted through 1961, during which the brothers released such songs as Oh Lolly, Dream Romance, and Things I Didn't Say. The Jordan brothers started a 16-year run at Schuylkill Haven's Willow Lake Park in 1962, as well as a 7-year run at Barnesville's Lakeside Ballroom in 1964. In 1966, they received a call from Phillips Records, who asked if they wanted to take a shot at a recording of a song on a demo tape they had, written originally by Steve Winwood. 1 month before it was released to great acclaim by the Spencer Davis Group, and years before it received a second life at the hands of the Blues Brothers, the Jordan brothers were the first to release a version of Give Me Some Lovin'. Their version was a big hit in Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Boston, and the biggest hit of their career. Although they were offered a national record deal in its aftermath, they were unwilling to give up their engagements at Willow Lake and the Lakeside Ballroom for a national tour. They continued releasing their own songs during the years that followed, among them Lovers Never Say Goodbye, Gee Whiz, and The One That Got Away. Following the end of their contracts at the Lakes, the Jordan brothers expanded their reach to venues in Berks and Lancaster counties through the late 70s and early 80s. They ended the run as a band in 1984, but reunited for one night only on September 17, 1986 at Pottsville's Arts and Ethnic Center. Bob Jordan died in 1993, Joe Jordan passed on in 2021, and Lou Jordan died in 2022.
And that does it for the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest news and updates on our YouTube, Facebook, or at our website at wylontv.com. Stay with us for a look at the weather.